This is Sportswrap Overtime. Welcome in September 9th, 2025. One new face on the set. Not new to everyone that watches Wavy, obviously, but James, he's usually out shooting content on Monday afternoon. That's why he's not in studio doing the podcast with us. But it is Craig Loper, Jeff Snyder, James Catato for Sportswrap Overtime this week, guys. Busy day, busy show, busy weekend.
Yeah.
You see it right there. That should say NFL recap.
Oh, it
should. We're going to start with the NFL recap. But that's okay.
Start with the NFL recap.
NFL Week 1 happened. Thursday night game, Friday night games. Everyone had the day off Saturday, and we come back with a full slate of games on Sunday, including the Washington Commanders taking down the Giants in Landover 21-6. Let's start there. What was your impression of the Commanders games, guys? Or the Commanders game?
Well, I think first things first, they didn't let the Giants into the end zone.
Yeah.
Right. So keeping the Giants out of the end zone is the first time they've done that in a couple of years, the Commanders.
Yep.
So, I mean, defense was good. A couple of penalties that DQ wanted to clean up. He talked about that in the post-game press conference and on Monday. Jaden said that they were sloppy, but that it's week 1. You don't want to be perfect in week 1. You don't want to hit your stride in week 1 because you're still figuring stuff out.
Right.
A handful of new guys on the roster, too, like Jacory Krosky-Merritt, Bill, getting his first NFL touchdown as well. So they're going to iron out some kinks for sure. But it's nice to see, first of all, nice to see Terry McLaurin on the field in week 1. Glad they got all that ironed out so that their offense kind of looks complete going into the 2025 season.
Right. Yeah. Speaking of Bill Krosky-Merritt, I just got the box score here. 10 carries on the day, 82 yards. I mean, most of them was on the 42-yarder.
He was one of the top-rated running back. He was a top-rated running back.
He had more yards than Ashton Genty, who did such for me because I got Genty on my fantasy team. Genty got in the end zone. We're all happy with that. But yes, no, it was interesting to see the running back by committee approach. Bill looked good. Austin Eckler had a couple spot runs in that really moved the chains.
That
got
one
them
spin
going.
in the that was
gosh.
nice.
And then, the thing about Jaden, I think what I noticed right off the top, just a little bit of, missed a few passes.
Yeah.
His touch was a little off in some certain spots, but you think about it. I thought about it afterwards. I'm like, that's not usually like him. He didn't throw a pass in the preseason. The one drive he played, he ran the ball and they didn't even throw it. So it's like, I think that will come with a little more reps. Like he did miss a couple key passes here and there, though. But his box score, if you want to put some stock in that, 19 for 30, 233 yards, 7.8 yards per attempt per completion, I guess. No 3 sacks on the day and just 1 touchdown. He also had 68 yards rushing.
Yeah, so 300-yard game for him total.
Yeah.
So all things considered, solid day for him. I do want to talk about Krosky-Merritt quickly because I think a lot of fans raised their eyebrows at the fact that when the depth chart came out for week 1, he was running back 4 on the roster.
Right.
Yeah. But you saw the whole, by committee running back thing that the Commanders are trying out. So I like it. Yeah. I mean, with not having Brian Robinson Jr. into the fold anymore, you're leaning on a handful of names to carry you.
That's what you got to do.
And I wonder if that performance that you just pulled off gives him more reps.
Yeah.
That he starts taking reps from some other guys because he was just very successful every time he touched the ball.
I think they're just going to keep doing it by committee, man. I think that's the approach. Like 1 week, it's going to be based on schematic, scheme, matchup, all that type of stuff. It's going to be Eckler 1 week. It's going to be Krosky-Merritt another week. But the cool thing about it is, it's almost like you can just keep these guys fresh, subbing them in and out consistently. Like no one should be tired. Was surprised that Chris Rodriguez didn't have a carry in there at all. That was interesting to see. So I don't know if there's anything we should read into that. But in terms of the Giants, I think James, did you see the stat? I think that's 5 straight over the Giants in Landover. Right?
Yeah.
And that's like the longest in franchise history or something. Something like that. So 5, however long that goes back. They play once in Landover per year. So is it 5 years, right?
One thing I loved in the game, and you saw it from last year, and I think we talked about this before the season. We were worried about the vets from last season that came in on kind of like prove it deals, right? So you have a Zach Ertz and a Bobby Wagner and a Austin Eckler. The one thing I noticed, Zach Ertz, automatic in the red zone. That little slant route where Jaden found him. I mean, having him as a reliable red zone target, if he continues what he had last season, then this offense is still going to look really good. And then Deebo Samuel too.
Great.
I think
way better than I think most people anticipated.
I think if they get that Deebo Samuel this season, I mean, he looked like 2019 Deebo Samuel, the all-pro Deebo Samuel, you know? So I think if they can get him working on those sweep routes where he's, kind of taking the ball as a running back almost and running that hybrid thing. Because what do you have, 1,800 all-purpose yards that year in 2019?
Like that.
Yeah. I mean, so he getting just a fraction of what he was from 2019, that's going to really evolve the offense.
He's an ultimate gadget piece, and I agree. If they can get him going in that sort of unique way and get him, out in space, He's going to be fun. Debo, 7 catches, 77 yards. He had a long of 21. He had 1 rush for 19 yards. I mean, and the rushing touchdown.
That was the rushing touchdown.
That was the rushing touchdown. So it's like, man, no, I agree. If he can stay healthy and keep working like that, Cliff Kingsbury's got a lot at his disposal. Going back to the Zach Ertz thing, they are automatic in the red zone, man.
Yeah.
Like Jaden is looking for him. But that's what a good tight end is, right? A big, solid red zone target. He runs great routes. He'll box out a linebacker down there and find the ball. And Jaden, I don't know, it seems like he's looking for him.
Yeah.
So, but all things considered, they can clean up a lot. Let me see if I can find the penalties real quick. Didn't they have, like, how many penalties? They had 12 penalties.
Yeah.
89 yards, but 12 penalties. Man, they could clean up a lot. Like, there's a lot to be left as they get ready to go to Green Bay on a short week now to play the Packers, who are also 1-0. And the Packers
looked good.
It looked really good.
They
looked good
against the Lions. Micah had some pressures, had a sack. They look like an NFC contender, seriously.
Any doubts about Micah Parsons' back and his health out the window.
Well, and the other interesting nugget to all this too with Micah is Micah has had 10.5 sacks against the Commanders in his career, which is the most amount of sacks he's had against an individual team in his 5-year NFL career. So I mean, the Commanders don't like playing Micah Parsons, and Micah Parsons likes playing against the Commanders. But even he said in the postgame press conference in the locker room that this is the most Parsons has worked down by down by down with the Packers. He was tired.
Yeah.
He said that
He played 30 snaps.
They were running him. So, I mean, but the one thing he said he liked was that the defensive line is so stacked that he can, get to his spot, take his time to get to his spot because he knows that it'll come, and then the other guys will kind of pick up the slack a little bit.
His snap count will keep going up week by week. If it's 30 in week 1, you think it's going to be 40 probably in week 2 or something like that.
Probably, yeah.
Just they're going to continue to utilize him. So at Lambeau, tough place to play. Thursday night, place will be packed out.
On Prime.
On Prime. In terms of so that's the Commanders' angle of things here. Man, let's get to the Sunday night game. Let's get to the Sunday night game. Let's show you the pictures. Bills Ravens in Orchard Park.
Yep.
Holy smokes, Lamar and Josh Allen going at it. I was locked in. Okay, admittedly, I was locked in through 3 quarters.
At some point.
That's all right.
Jason
I got busy. I had something to do right when the Bills comeback started. And I was caught up and I was like, oh man. And then all of a sudden I checked my phone and the Bills came back and it was like, what in the world? I immediately found the highlight. Like, what a game. Game of the year. That could be the game of the year all season.
Well, the Bills love to have a wacky game. I think the Bills play a lot of games just like that where it gets chaotic, especially down the stretch. I think the significance of that is the last season opener in that stadium in the old Highmark Stadium before they get to the new one next season. So you knew that something special was going to happen or a good game was going to be had because they walked into that with a little bit of emotion. They came back from 15 down in the fourth quarter. That's their first 15-point fourth quarter comeback since 1967. So the Bills definitely wanted that one. Josh Allen, in just the fourth quarter alone, 3 total touchdowns, had I think 270 passing yards. So I mean, that's a quarterback stat line for a whole game. He did that in the fourth quarter. So
I think he's surpassed Mahomes as the top quarterback of the NFL.
Mahomes got to prove it again.
Mahomes got to prove it again. We know what Mahomes offensively, what they become is more dink and dunk, and they've struggled. They play a lot of close games. Allen looks like the best of the best, and all the talk of Stephon getting traded out of there a few years ago, like that's all been put to bed. Like he's throwing to these guys.
Keon Coleman looks like a wide receiver one in week 1. He had 117 receiving yards, I think.
I got Keon on he was on my bench.
I have 112 for him.
112,
yeah. And I mean, Josh Allen, final stat line, 33 for 46, 394 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. I mean, the flow of this game was just so crazy because I text you guys, Brian and James, in the group chat, and I said, the Ravens look like they could win the Super Bowl. Like the Ravens look like they will win the Super Bowl. That first 3 quarters, you're like, how do you stop Derrick Henry and Lamar? And like the offense just was flowing. They were running inside, outside. Lamar's hitting passes. DeAndre, DeAndre had the big one-hander. And then you're like, oh my God, DeAndre Hopkins on the Ravens. Forgot about that. And he comes up with a huge touchdown.
And you see Zay Flowers.
Getting loose. Oh my. So you're looking at the first 3 quarters for the Ravens. The Ravens look like they're going to roll everybody. And then the Ravens, I didn't know, but apparently John Harbaugh has a history of 17 fourth quarter, disasters, in his career.
I saw one of them in person 2 years ago.
Right. It's like the Ravens, for some reason, have this dark cloud where they can't close out games when they have a big lead. Something's going on with that. And Lamar at the podium was kind of dismissed it like, oh, until we got a long season. But like, whew, I wanted a little more sense of urgency. Like, we can't do that.
And I want to touch on Matt Prater.
Yep.
Because Matt Prater on Saturday night took a red eye into Orchard Park to come in. He was actually coaching his son's Pop Warner team last week.
Right.
Gets called up from the practice squad, comes in on Sunday. I was listening to Josh post game, and Josh said his first ever interaction with Matt Prater was in the locker room before the game. Prater comes up to him, shows him a video of his kid playing quarterback in the Pop Warner League,
right?
And then in the tunnel right before the game, he goes, "I'm going to give you everything I got." Now that game-winning field goal got tipped.
Did it?
That was almost blocked.
Oh yeah, they said Kyle Hamilton almost got it. I missed the replay. I didn't see it.
He got a finger on it.
Like,
yeah,
did he
really?
Fingertip on it.
And then he puts his hands over his face after it goes through the uprights because he was right there. He jumped right over the line.
Yeah.
Jumped right on Prater. I did love though right at the end when everyone was hoisting Prater up. It would almost remind me of like Rudy, something out of Rudy, right?
Right.
And then Allen runs up to him and he goes, "Welcome to Buffalo, baby!"
Yeah.
And they're doing Mr. Brightside, and the whole fan base of those who actually stayed at Highmark and didn't quit out in the
some
fourth.
Some people left.
You know, but it was such a moment.
I mean, it was crazy, man, to be on that Sunday Night Football stage, those two teams, that stadium, those fans, the two, top two quarterbacks in the league, and the way the game unfolded, like, wow. That was some cinema. I mean, you guys texted me. My mom was texting me about it. Just, I think every text that came through was like, this incredible. Like, that was a way to start. And that might be the game of the year. We got 17 more weeks to go on this thing.
It's like, how do you top that?
We might look back at week one in the NFL and say nothing's topping that Bills-Ravens game.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the best week one games I've ever seen.
And they're going to meet again. You know those teams will meet again in the playoffs.
For sure.
If not the wild card, definitely in the divisional round or the AFC title game.
Well, in the playoffs last year, when the Ravens came to Orchard Park and played them in the playoffs, I mean that was a fantastic game too.
Great game,
and it had so many storylines because of Mark Andrews' drop in the end zone, right? So I mean, that matchup is fireworks no matter what. You have the past two league MVPs going up against each other at quarterback.
Same draft class.
I mean,
match up so well.
Yeah,
it's so good.
It's crazy, man. The talent on both the teams too. Our boy Sean McDermott, they said it on the broadcast. Like, it doesn't feel like he gets the respect as some of the best coaches in the league. Like, people pass on his name a lot. Like, you're going to hear Andy Reid, you're going to hear John Harbaugh, you're going to hear right now, you're going to hear Kevin O'Connell, you're going to hear Sean McVay. But like for some reason, McDermott's like off the center, of the brain of everybody. Like, he kind of down the way on the list. But man, they got just talent everywhere. Russo on defense, Milano on defense.
Joey Bosa.
Joey Bosa had he chased down Lamar a couple times on read option. Lamar wasn't able to fake him out. I know their secondary is kind of suspect. That's where they kind of, have some questions.
Yeah, it's interesting because, DeMar Hamlin and then Christian Benford, who got stiff-armed like crazy by Derrick Henry on his way to the end zone. So their secondary, if there is a weak spot of the Buffalo Bills, you're going to find it there.
And then the Ravens, the Wiggins kid out of Clemson, Nate Wiggins, I forget his first
Nate Wiggins,
name.
Nate Wiggins. Yeah.
He plays good. There was a couple of plays where he got burnt. But Hamilton for the Ravens, our boy Mike Green from Williamsburg.
Broadcast was talking about him too.
Yeah, I mean they just got just the depth. It's the roster management. It's the team building. It's the acquiring of talent with these teams that you come to respect, because it's like you have above average players in so many positions, as opposed to like your average run of the mill NFL team. You got the top tier guys, and there's a major drop off. Yeah, there's not a lot of drop off between like defensive. I mean, Ed Oliver. Oh my God, he's a forgotten guy. No one talks about him.
Ed Oliver forced the fumble.
Yeah, it was just like he had an game of his life. Really, you know what I'm saying? So
they are just so well rounded.
Yeah,
and it's just I'm going to be in Baltimore this weekend as they play the Browns.
Oh, they got week 2?
Yeah. It's probably not going to be a fun time for me.
You never know. The AFC North is always crazy.
They always match up well.
Wow. So it's a week 2 Browns at Ravens.
Yeah, I'm not going to be freezing my butt off this year.
Right.
It's nice.
Right. No, it's good to have that game early on. I just couldn't. I mean, Derrick Henry is defying father times. Like, wow.
Is he entering some conversations now within that like top echelon of running backs of all time? He's got to be, right?
Man.
His comp is LaDainian Tomlinson for sure.
You think so? Wait, what do you mean? Like in terms of where they rank on
where they rank and where they are in where he is in his career now?
Right.
Where LT was.
Yeah.
the exact same.
Different. They do it in different ways.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'd have to look at the numbers side.
Yeah,
But, I'm a big running back stats guy.
What is he, 9 years in the league?
He just passed Jim Brown for all time on the career rushing
is
touchdowns.
crazy.
I think he's got 109.
Yep.
Jim Brown also had 106 in like
Less
9
games.
years or
Yeah.
whatever the number, way less games, like 30 less games or something. So, but he is, I think Derrick Henry's like 6th or 7th on the all-time list now.
Yeah. And think like the Titans just discarded him, you know?
Yeah, it made no
That's
sense to me.
crazy.
And then, Fallen in Baltimore was the perfect fit for him.
For sure.
Oh.
Because they're run heavy, they're big up front, they got good offensive linemen. Monken came in and like they're gonna zone it up, they're gonna stretch to the outside, they're gonna go power run, that stuff out of pistol that they do is super creative. If you ever look at it like pistol and how a couple years ago, remember William and Mary was doing all that stuff?
Yeah.
Like they're doing a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
And like they're getting them downhill, like one cut and he's up the field. He's still got speed. What was his final stats? I got it up right here.
Well, because it keeps you gussing too. I mean, with Lamar and his mobility in the pocket, I mean, you have no idea who's going to end up taking the ball.
18 for 169 and 2 touchdowns, 9 yards a carry, 9.5 yards a carry.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, man.
That's video game stats.
And it's just fun to watch because he's 30 or 31?
Yeah, 30, 31.
Something like
around there.
that.
No sign of slowing down. He can still truck the heck out of anybody.
Yeah.
We're watching a freak of nature out there. I mean, all
Yeah, a
pro
Hall of
athletes
Famer.
are.
Right.
But like, he's going to the Hall of Fame, first ballot, no doubt.
Derrick Henry's always so funny to me because whenever he plays, and this went viral last week on the internet, was his high school numbers.
I was just about to say
His
it.
high school numbers always go viral. So if you know anything, and I don't quote me on this, but it is like, I don't know if it's official or how it works, but Derrick Henry is like the all-time leading rusher in high school football history of everyone. Like
Yeah.
13,000 yards in high school.
He's got a little over
like
12,000
or something
but he had
like that.
4,400 his senior year.
And it's like the numbers are just ridiculous. Yulee,
Yeah.
Florida. It's like a Jacksonville suburb, I think. The one that went in 9 years in the NFL, he still hasn't surpassed his
high school numbers.
His high school numbers.
It's crazy.
And his high school numbers are crazy because he's getting like 300 carries a year plus, and it's ridiculous.
In a state like Florida, football heavy state.
Oh,
It wasn't like he
God.
wasn't running kids over in Wyoming.
No, the funny thing about him too is at one point I like going back after the fact when guys become stars and like hearing the recruiting stories. Like Bama was thinking about putting him at D end at some point.
Yeah.
Like Nick Saban was like, "You can play D end for us." He's like, "No, I want to play running back." They're like, "Okay, you can play running."
He's that build.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
dude,
he's
ridiculous.
huge.
He's ridiculous.
He probably be an all-time great DN.
He probably would be, but his high school. Go watch those highlights. It's like
crazy.
What is the classic internet like caption? It's like imagine taking chemistry all day and then
having to line up against
tackle
Derrick Henry.
on a
Yeah.
Friday night or something like that. So, any other games stand out to y'all over the weekend?
Steelers,
Jeff,
Jets,
go ahead
for
and
sure.
let it out. Steelers, Jets.
Steelers, Jets, yeah,
Jets
that
fan here
did.
and James, Browns fan and Jeff.
Yeah.
Go ahead, vent it out.
No, I was
Go
going
ahead.
to. I'm not even.
ahead, James.
I'm not even mad that the Jets lost to the Steelers in the way that they did, because I think that, first of all, I knew that Rodgers was going to come in and ball out.
The revenge tour.
You just knew he wasn't. And in the
Right.
post game presser, he said, there's a lot of people who thought I was washed up. I'm glad that I could prove him wrong. And then he literally said, I wanted to beat everybody associated with the Jets today.
Yep.
I think that the Steelers are a perfect fit. I'm so happy that Rodgers is free of Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah.
Because now it's a different look offense for him that can really open him up a little bit. And there were a lot of questions like, how is he going to fit with Mike Tomlin? How is he going to fit in this offense? And he did, and he has good
Arthur
options.
Smith and him seem to be on the same page. That's offensively how they used motion stood out to me a lot. Some of the play action. Arthur Smith is famous in the NFL for kind of his play action motion game and just kind of how he moves the quarterback.
Yeah.
And Rodgers looked really comfortable. And you got to remember, like, now he's 2 years away from the Achilles, and it's like he looked more mobile than he has in a long time.
He has.
They
And
were
I
able
think
to roll him out a lot.
The line, I think, helps a little bit too, because the Jets were kind of a question mark on their offensive line when Rodgers was in there.
Right.
So 4 touchdowns, that's the most in a Steelers debut of all time.
Really?
So Rodgers
Tied for the most, probably. There's got to be somewhere with the
in a Steelers debut game.
okay. In a Steelers debut. Got
Yeah,
it. First
Steelers
game ever
debut.
with the Steelers.
Yes.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah,
So
that makes sense.
I was impressed by Justin Fields. I thought he was great. I love the fact that he was able to actually use his arm well. That pass to Garrett Wilson, the Ohio State connection, I'm
Yes.
glad it's still there and strong. Breece Hall, I mean, I was not impressed with Breece Hall last season,
looking at the
coming off that
numbers here.
ACL tear, but him being able to hit another 100-yard game, I was very impressed with that.
19 for 107.
And then their rookie offensive lineman, Membu.
Okay. I don't even know where he came from.
He was their 7th overall pick this year. and he was.
Where's he from?
He was
7th overall. The
seventh
Jets picked a
overall.
lineman, seventh
overall this
I
season.
don't remember that name. I don't remember him.
But he was fantastic against Watt. TJ
Okay,
Watt.
yeah.
So kind of locking him up.
Yeah, he
It was a good game, man. It was. I think that at one point when I was watching, they said 7 lead changes in the game.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
It was an awesome game in East Rutherford at MetLife. Like, great game. Great game. A lot of Steelers fans in the 757. So, very impressed. Good for Mike Tomlin getting that win. And, I like to see. I like Rodgers as much hate as he gets for all the off the field stuff, which is understandable because he's kind of a goon with the off the field stuff.
He's a weird guy.
He's kind of an interesting guy, but I like a good redemption story
for sure.
So
Yeah.
if he can use this season to kind of ingratiate himself back into like good positive conversation about his career and not the focus be all his weird ayahuasca stuff and everything he does in the offseason, this could be a great way for Rodgers to go out. They don't have to win the Super Bowl, but like you go win 11 games, you make the playoffs, you make it to the AFC divisional round of the AFC title. Like, great way for him to go out.
I think that the AFC North, sorry, buddy. I think the AFC North will have 3 playoff teams this year.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And one of them will not be the Cleveland Browns.
That is correct.
Because on Sunday, they should have beaten the Bengals.
They should have.
They should have won this game easily.
Yep.
Joe Flacco looked awesome.
Yep.
He drew for 290 yards and a touchdown. Those 2 picks, not on him.
Yep.
And the defense was incredible.
Jamar Chase, go ahead. I got the stats.
They held the Bengals to 7 total yards in the second half.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase, 2 catches for 26 yards.
Yeah, like Chase and Burrow, their timing was off.
Yeah.
They didn't look right. Higgins was the leading receiver with 33 yards. I mean, Burrow was
7 yards in the second half. How did they lose?
Well, they don't have a kicker.
Yeah, right.
That's the problem.
Respect Syracuse grad Andre Schmidt.
Is that who it is?
Yeah, actually, you don't have to respect him.
I'm not respecting him at all.
He was not great at Syracuse.
Miles
either.
Garrett had a great game. Like
Miles Garrett was he's a
looks
beast.
like he's just a future Hall of Famer.
Yeah, him and Micah Parsons are 1A and 1B at this point.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
Raheem Sanders had a touchdown. Cedric Tillman had a touchdown.
I favorited a tweet somewhere, Jeff, the one that said something about the Browns became the first team to ever outgain them by this much, have this many first downs, and still lose. I don't know what it was, but it was some crazy.
It's
stat.
typical Cleveland bullcrap,
was
really. I mean, that's what it
crazy.
is. I mean, this happens to us all the time.
Yeah.
And we just take it because we just move on because we love our team so much.
How many field goals did dude miss? I'm trying to pull up.
He missed
2, right?
He missed an extra point.
Extra point and a field goal.
The extra point ended up being the difference, but then he missed the field goal to win the game.
Was the extra point blocked or was the?
No, he just
Okay, I see
just
it here.
missed.
He missed.
I got
Yeah,
the box.
just
okay,
missed.
I got it. Yep. In the game.
Yeah, the Bengals had 141 total yards of offense.
It's hard too because the Bengals historically in Joe Burrow's career are a slow start team.
Yep.
So I mean, it's like this was the opportunity to knock the Bengals off early because I think the next time when the Browns go to Cincinnati,
No, it's not gonna be.
I don't know if the Bengals are going to be as slow as they were.
They're going to be clicking.
I don't get it though. Like it's from my perspective, I don't get how every single season the Bengals come out flat.
I think
for the
they were
first month.
I think they were 1-9
in September
in the first 2 games of a year during Burrow's career.
Yeah. Since 2020.
And now they're
up,
2-10. Now they're 2-9.
Yeah.
But they're weird. They're a weird.
Well,
team.
they played the guys in the preseason this year. First time they've done that.
Yeah.
First preseason Burrow's ever played significant snaps each game. So yeah, key plays. Your boy missed that kick in the 4th. That was a chance for a go ahead, and then he had the missed PAT. Right. So I didn't see any of this game. I just caught the box score. But wow, yeah, weird game.
It was just a strange game. Well, it was a strange game from the Browns' perspective because finally we have a quarterback play that wasn't horrible. He looked great. He was making his decisions. He was on time with stuff. His receivers weren't.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, the defense looked awesome. I'm very optimistic about this Cleveland Browns defense. Mason Graham, the first round pick, defensive tackle, he looked awesome in this game.
Good. Yeah, 5th overall. Or something.
Yeah. So I'm very intrigued by this defense, especially after losing Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
Yeah, that was my next thing. I was going to say, I know the D line and the secondary is somewhat okay, but that linebacking core.
Yeah, that's the question.
Right.
That's the question, but they looked okay.
Man, they could use JOK. We miss him out there, man. We miss him out there. Another good game, Buccaneers Falcons. I was catching that when I watched that one. Baker looks like he could be an MVP candidate.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah. Good transition there.
Awesome.
Vikings Bears. Go ahead.
I was gonna say sidebar real quick. Armand Membu, drafted out of Mizzou.
Oh,
7th overall pick.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Now that sounds more familiar. Yeah. They've had a few first round O linemen, so I get confused.
Yes.
There's been so many because they've missed on a few.
Yes.
Mekhi Becton.
Who then went on to win a Super Bowl with the Eagles.
And then the dude out of Penn State was questionable too.
Yes.
So Vikings Bears Monday night game. JJ McCarthy returns home to Chicago and looks terrible in 3 quarters. All of a sudden becomes Superman in the 21 fourth quarter points.
Well,
he's a Chicago kid, but he went to IMG for like 3 years.
It was a tale of like 2 games though, because the first half of the game, the Bears looked like they had it under control, and Caleb Williams was
10
on
for
time.
10.
He was looking.
Ben Johnson looked good.
Yeah. Everyone was looking good, and then all of a sudden, it just fell apart. They just couldn't. All of a sudden, they couldn't connect on anything.
Yeah, it was crazy to see it all fall apart. The thing at the end, I'm a stickler. We're going to take a break here soon, but I'm a stickler for like just coaching and time management and situational awareness. And they kept saying on the broadcast, like the Bears needed to kick that ball out of the end zone to have the 2-minute timeout, 2-minute warning, and their timeout to give themselves a chance. And the dude just like kicked it normally. And you see the Vikings guy like almost thinking about it. He's like, oh my God, should I return this? And did you see the shot of O'Connell telling him come out of the end zone?
Yeah.
Because they needed to get the clock under 2 minutes. And now the 2-minute warning doesn't exist.
Right.
It was like, I was sitting there watching. I was like, okay, kick it out of the end zone. Peyton Manning said it on the Manning cast, either kick it out of bounds or onside it. Do not let them return this. And they let him. And it was like, what do you just lost the game. That was it. So that drove me crazy.
Did you see like part of the Manning cast where I think McCarthy threw the pick 6?
Yes.
And you see like Peyton was like offended he threw the ball.
Yeah, he broke it down too. He broke it down like in a real like X's and O's way. That was awesome. I saw it after the fact.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys feel. I'm not a fan of watching the Manning cast live.
I don't do that.
I can't.
I watch clips later.
I can't do it, man. The weird stuff they do, the commentary. Like I want to hear the broadcast. I don't want to hear who was it last night? All respect to Randy Moss, especially what he was gone through this offseason. But like, I don't want to hear Randy Moss talking about things like that aren't football related during the game. Like I'm just so locked into the game.
Yeah.
But I've had friends that tell me they love the Manning cast and they watch it the whole time.
I will say too, I loved after the game in the locker room how pumped up McCarthy was getting the game ball.
Yeah.
And then I saw a tweet after the fact that said McCarthy like huddled his guys in the 4th quarter and was like, when they were down and the momentum shift was not in their favor. And he's like, where else would you rather be?
Yeah.
You know, and then like rally the troops and then got. So, I mean, the poise and really your rookie debut.
Yeah.
I know he was there last year, but I mean, this was like his rookie
debut,
season, you know?
for sure.
Yeah, and
For sure.
you know, as an Ohio State fan, I was sort of secretly rooting for his failure.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
But
runs deep.
And fun fact, real quick. Did you know that McCarthy was on the IMG roster that played Bishop Sycamore? So
no way.
He actually took that game off. He did not. He decided to not play that game.
Was Bishop's that was that long ago?
Yeah, but McCarthy was on the roster that played
5-6 years ago.
Yeah, but he was on the roster that played Bishop Sycamore.
Yeah, that's quite the story. That was the best story of Twitter for like 3 days.
Yes, it was.
All right, let's take a break on Sportswrap Overtime. We'll be right back. We're going to recap the college football weekend around the 757 in the Commonwealth. We'll be right back. We're back on Sportswrap Overtime. Craig Loper, Jeff Snyder, James Catato here. Transitioning over to the college football week 1. Technically, college football does. No, week 2.
I guess technically
week 0,
yeah,
week 1, week 2. I always get week 0 and they're confused. Let's go to Dick Price Stadium, man. Michael Vick returns home after the home opener, which they lost to Towson. And Vick and the Spartans came out in that green, gold, white uniform combo. Looked incredible.
Love it.
Man, it was a 6 o'clock kick. Beautiful night for football. Norfolk State looked really good to open it with the block punt. And they're playing Virginia State, a rival. I mean, I don't know the official attendance. I should look it up, Jeff. If you can maybe try to find the attendance. I'm going to say 25,000
More so than the Towson game.
Oh, yeah, way more. The visitor side was packed. Pockets, corners of the stadium
No
were packed.
tarps over the bleachers.
Oh, my gosh. It was crazy. So Virginia State was up, 25 to 10?
They went on a 24-8 run in the overtime and 4th quarters.
So here I am. I'm shooting these are all my highlights here, and I'm shooting this. I'm like, oh, this is cooked. Especially with that when they ran that trick play, people started filing out. Yeah. I started shooting people leave. All of a sudden, Otto Coons gets inserted in the game late 3rd quarter, touchdown drive immediately, goes back. I think another touchdown drive basically right after that, and all of a sudden the offense looked great. They started moving the ball. Defense came up with some stops. It goes into overtime. Virginia State misses a field goal. Gets stopped on a 4th down. I still don't know why they didn't kick the field goal in the overtime. Gets stopped on a 4th down. Norfolk State kicks the game-winning field goal, walks it off. Vic gets his first win. Electric atmosphere.
Yes.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you,
is
Jesus.
what he said after the game. Wow. Crazy atmosphere, crazy comeback. We are convinced Otto Koons is no question.
He named him the starter.
He did.
Yeah.
Okay, that is official.
So Otto Koons will be the starter for the Rutgers game this weekend.
Tough game.
I mean, it's a Big Ten opponent in New Jersey.
Yeah.
That's you just this game figured out your offensive identity and what you want it to be. Because for the first week against Towson, it was like Izzy Carter was kind of like in the mix, and then he had those 3 drives, and then Vic said, "I'm going to give him an opportunity. He's a starting quarterback for this week against Virginia State."
Right.
So you're now just figuring out, okay, Otto's the guy. So now this week in practice, he's getting the first team reps and all that stuff. But I mean, I love Jaden Laudermilk. I think because Kevon King hasn't had the start to the season that I think we thought he would have with being a Walter Payton Award watch lister. So, I mean, but the dual punch of him and Laudermilk in the backfield, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And then you can attest to this too. I saw it in week 1 against Towson. I'm sure you saw it at Virginia State. Their linebackers fly.
Yeah.
Like
defense
they are
looks really good
hunting.
a lot of the time. The defense, I mean, they had a little, snafus against Virginia State, but man, the defense is running to the ball.
Yeah.
They look very impressive at times. It's really about all 3 phases of the game coming together. Vic has said that they got to sort of even the highs and lows, right? If you're a good football team, you have less of those highs and lows. You got to find your stride. So 34-31 is the final in overtime. The atmosphere afterwards was electric. I mean, players going nuts, the crowd, the shots I got.
22,396.
Okay, all right,
Yeah, so
I said 25.
3,000 more than the Towson game.
Right, exactly. So it even felt like more than that, really. This was after the game. Michael Vick was talking about getting the win, and then you're going to hear from Otto Koons about his opportunity as he was inserted in for the 2nd week in a row.
Obviously a tough game. It took 5 quarters to win it, but the guys that we have in that locker room, Otto, included, and being at the forefront as a leader, as a guy that this team look up to, I'll take these guys to war anywhere. In terms of football battle, there's things that we got to correct as far as penalties. I thought we put ourselves in bad positions.
A lot of penalties.
A couple times in the game, and I won't say too much other than I thought in the second half we was able to run the ball effectively. I felt like we needed a spark. I knew at some point if we needed a spark, if we needed just some energy.
It gives me a lot of confidence, especially seeing the team. I mean, energy was low when I was going around telling everybody, let's go. I mean, I'm going in this position. It was kind of like an energy boost. So that gives me a lot of confidence, too, knowing my teammates would back me.
So there's a post game. Let me pull up. Vic talked about the penalties. It was crazy. I want to say it was 12 for, 16 penalties for 127 yards.
So 27 total penalties on the season so far for Norfolk State.
Yeah, they got to clean it up, man. And a lot of the penalties, especially in the first half, were on 3rd down defensively when Virginia State's offense was on the field, Norfolk State's defense on, and they were bailing them out. Like I remember off the top of my head at least 3 3rd down penalties that gave.
It was
VSU,
like that in the Towson game too.
Yeah, it gave VSU like 3 automatic first downs. You just can't have it. It just eventually those compound. And it's wear and tear on you.
25 total penalties on the season. They had 9 against Towson in week 1. But the nice thing though about penalties, and you look at those 3rd down kind of gimme plays to the opposing team, that stuff you can clean up.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, but the talent on the roster that they have, especially on the offensive end, I like it. I think that when Otto is in, he's creative on the offense.
Yeah.
We were talking about it week 1. A couple of the media guys on the sideline with myself, like. For as explosive as a guy that Izzy Carter seemed in practice and in a couple of pockets in the Towson game, his ability to get out of the pocket. But then Otto, while he's not as explosive of a quarterback using his legs, he kind of slithers.
Yes.
Like he can weave in and out of traffic. He's very calm and poised in the pocket, and he finds the right pass. He goes through his progressions, you can tell.
I think it just runs more smooth. I think he makes the easy passes easy.
Yeah.
He looks just more poised. He knows where he's going with the football. He looks confident, and he has just enough wiggle, like you said, James, to kind of like step up, maybe run if he has to, take a sack when he has to, throw it away when he has to. And I was roaming that sideline, man. I was going up and down on the sideline, and you could see guys looking around like, okay, this is
the guy.
This is the guy.
Yeah.
We got, like, there ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So maybe they use. I think Michael did say in the post game. Vic said they might use Izzy in spots, like they might use him some sort of like special packages and stuff because they can probably get his skill set, on the field at some point. But a lot to clean up. They lost 2 fumbles on the day, no interceptions, but. Crazy game. Shout out to everyone that was there. They showed up big time. Dick Price was packed. Very, very fun atmosphere to be a part of.
And I like this real quick before we move on to Old Dominion. It's Towson, I think, is going to be, outside of Rutgers, Towson is probably going to be the toughest team they play all season.
For sure.
And then Virginia State, while Virginia State is a Division II school, it's a rivalry game.
It's a rivalry game.
So it's like you got 2 hard games out of the way, out of the gate, and you're playing. And I hate to diss the MEAC, but it's like it's a MEAC schedule.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much resistance you're going to get from some of the MEAC teams. I'm not saying they're going to win the MEAC,
Right.
But
I don't think I expect them to win the MEAC.
I don't think a lot of
You want them
people
to be
are.
there at the end.
But they can be. I think they can be competitive with a couple of MEAC
sure.
teams. You look at the Dawson Odoms teams from previous seasons, especially last season. They didn't get blown out by a lot of teams. They took Towson to the brink last season. They had I think they were blown out by Hampton. But I mean, that's the Battle of the Bay. That's always going to be competitive, right? But 2 wins that Vic has to have this season. Virginia State, cross that one off the list, and then Battle of the Bay. Gotta have both.
It'll be huge.
Yeah.
It'll be huge for sure.
Of course, Rutgers 2-0 coming in.
Yeah.
This next
Yeah.
one.
Shiano's still up there doing his
He
thing?
is, and they played 2 MAC schools. They played Miami, Ohio last week, 45-17, and they beat OU 34-31. Ohio University.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Bobcats.
Not the OU I was thinking of.
Right.
Oklahoma just beat Michigan, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. So after the Rutgers game, Norfolk State returns home for a matchup with Sacred Heart on September 20th.
Who they lost to last season, 7-3, I
They
think.
lost to them 2 out of the last 3 seasons.
Yeah.
All right, moving on over to SB Ballard Stadium. Pretty easy day of work for Old Dominion taking on North Carolina Central. It was a squad. I don't even know.
54-6.
54-6. It was a pretty easy day for.
They
Ricky
did what
Ronnie
they were
Company.
supposed to do.
Yeah, did what they were supposed to do. The all blue uniforms look crispy. They had the really old ODU, not even the Raceway track logo. It was
Yeah.
like the older ODU logo
love it.
from way back when. So good to see them take care of business. Ran the ball well. How did Colton Joseph look?
Yeah, decisive.
Yeah.
Throwing the football, running the football well, marched the offense down the field when defense got turnovers for him. You'll see it right here. Interception that then led to Colton Joseph getting the ball down the field to Naeem Abdul Gladding, right? Or, the 4-part name.
Yes, we might be missing it.
Naeem Raheem Abdul Gladding.
Right,
maybe?
there you
Yes.
go.
Zahim Abdul Rahim Gladdick.
There we go.
Thank you.
Right.
But one of the veteran receivers on the roster, ODU was supposed to win this game.
Yeah,
They were
yeah.
big favorites. I think they were 20-point favorites going into this game. So, take care of business, and then you start to dive into the tougher schedule because the Sun Belt's going to, they're not playing around this year.
Yeah.
NCCU, shout out to Trey Oliver, their head coach, who's in this handshake shot here. Trey Oliver's a Hampton native, went to Yorktown. Very good coach. I go way back with him starting in 2016. He was the Southern defensive coordinator in Baton Rouge for 3 years when I was down there. Very cool coach. I always appreciate Trey Oliver. They had Central will be a force in the MEAC. They're going to be all right. Good to see ODU. The main news that came out of this game as we move on, really not focus on the game. Jason Henderson was not at this game. No one knew where he was at. He was not just down. He was not there. Brian Parsons had sent us a text like Jason's MIA.
Yeah.
We had sensed something was going on for a long time now. When it comes to talking to him, he was kind of tired answering questions about his knee and his leg, his left sleeve right there. And he'd become just a little more like he wasn't at media day. So there was kind of this stuff swirling like, where's Jason? What's going on? And we found out on Sunday officially that Jason Henderson is done playing football for now and is going to take a different direction in life. And his knee, just the rehab didn't really take. And he suffered a very serious knee injury 2 years ago.
Well, so we didn't know how serious it was. I think we all in the sports office could put the pieces together that in that November 2023 game was at App State.
Towards the end of the year.
We were like, okay, probably tore his ACL, but then he comes out on Instagram on Sunday with a love letter to football and he says, ACL, MCL, MPFL, and meniscus all torn. So he shredded his knee. And that's, it gets to the point where it's not even a physical thing anymore with an injury like that. It's a mental side too, because you're running around the field and you're like, well, I'm not as fast as I used to be, or maybe I can't catch that guy. He still had 5 tackles in the Indiana game, and there were a couple of red zone stand-ups that ODU had in week 1 where Jason orchestrated that. And in the South Carolina game last year in week 1, I was on that sideline, and the first thing I thought of was, okay, he's not 100%, you can tell, but he's still one of the better linebackers on the field.
Yeah.
So,
no, tough to see it, man. I Jason's always been good to us in the media, man. When they beat Tech 3 years ago, man, you go watch that tape against Tech. He's flying around. I think he was a redshirt freshman that season, flying around like 15 tackles. I mean, Sun Belt, just so many. It led the country in tackles 2 years ago.
Led the country in tackles in 2022.
Yeah.
And then that season was the third most tackles by an individual in a single season in FBS history.
Right.
And then in 2023, led the nation in tackles per game.
Right.
So, I mean, it was a guy, going to be a guy.
He could have played on Sundays if the cards played right.
Yeah, that was what you were kind of hoping for, to see where he might end up, either as a 6th, 7th round guy, maybe sooner, maybe a UDFA guy, like who knows. But tough to see him. This was Ricky Ronnie speaking at his press conference on Monday about why Jason Henderson basically chose to step away from the game of football.
At some point, Jason just got to a point where it became too difficult to keep doing the things that it was necessary to play this game. So for him to say, okay, I can't play anymore, you would have to imagine, the amount of physical pain that he was probably in to get to that decision.
It's hard.
Yeah, very honest transparency there. I think after the game they were asking him, and there was no clarification yet. Obviously, Ricky was probably just protecting his guy and waiting for Jason to put
Which he does with injuries.
Yeah. That's college. You're not required to report injuries.
Well, now the Sun Belt is on Wednesdays.
Oh,
so,
yeah, they do have to put out an injury report.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I mean, imagine having to make that decision now. I mean, that's tough. I mean, you worked your entire life to give your whole life to this game, and you know. He tried, and he tried to push through it.
Yeah.
But like with his body, he listened to his body, so you got to give him respect for that.
Right.
And
I mean, I don't want to get too personal, but I made that decision.
Yeah.
I've been in the exact same boat, man. Like going into my redshirt freshman year at Oregon, I was coming off a broken leg and I ripped up my ankle, and like a week before camp started, like I still couldn't even run right. Like I was still limping. Yeah. Like my ankle was so messed up, and I was like, I don't feel like it was like my hands up. Like the rehab's not taken. I had 3 cortisone shots on my ankle in 4 months, 5, 6 months, whatever it was. And I was still limping. I couldn't even push off my ankle right. Camp starts in a week. I'm feeling like dead weight to the team. I'm worthless. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not myself. Mentally, you're like, what the heck's going on? You're frustrated. And that's what I walked into my running backs coach at the time, Gary Campbell, and I said, Coach, I don't think I can do it this year. Like I still am not right. And he was, I thought in my mindset, I wasn't done with football yet. I was like, I'm gonna come back next year. And then kind of when you get away from it, it gets tough and life takes over and you become a normal student and stuff like that. But I've made that decision. Now, not as serious of an injury as Jason, but man, mentally you're like, what's wrong with me? That's how you feel when you can't get right. Like you're like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I move the way I want to move? And it's like a mental battle, like a real hurdle you're trying to get over. So I've been there.
I remember in the preseason when they opened fall camp, and somebody asked Jason, how's your knee? And Jason was like, I'm ready to go. Yeah. And then somebody followed up and said, 100%. And then Jason just put his head down and then looked at the sports information director for the football team and was kind of like,
he didn't want to answer the question.
He didn't want to answer the question.
Yeah.
But that's got to be so hard because for the past 2 seasons, I pulled up an old one-on-one that I did with Jason before the South Carolina game last year. And I was like, Coach Ronnie said you're ready to go, and he's like, yeah, it feels good to be 100%. He wanted to speak it into existence.
Right.
He wanted to get back out there. It was so obvious.
Fan favorite too.
Fan favorite. One of the best football players that this program has ever had.
Oh, for sure.
Easily.
First team All-American. A couple years, his year that he led the country.
Yeah.
I mean, this is me being funny in a sense, but he's a 91 overall on College Football 26. He's the best.
He's easily the best player on ODU.
Best. He might be the highest rated Group of 5 player in the game.
He was
overall.
He was
definitely in the Sun Belt. So. And he had some notoriety about him. Like people that knew football knew like this guy at Old Dominion. They were almost like questioning, like, why is he still at Old Dominion? And shout out to Jason because he said over the last 2 years he had opportunities to transfer.
Yeah.
But he said, this is where I started. This is where I'm loyal to. This is who recruited me out of high school. This is who I committed to. And the grass isn't always greener. That's basically how he said it.
And you don't see that like ever in college football anymore.
Not
especially with
anymore.
NIL.
Not anymore, And so we ran into him. He did a Tides. He was at a Norfolk Tides game a couple years ago. He was signing autographs for fans and stuff. Little paid, show up, sign
Yeah, meet and
autographs.
greet.
That was when NIL, I think, just had happened or something like that. But no, fan favorite. Everyone wishes him the best. We'll see what happens. He has a wrestling background too. He's a great high school wrestler. Does he want to get into coaching? Who knows? So we wish Jason the best. Going to be unfortunate not seeing him out there on Saturdays for this season because they could use him.
Yeah.
but
They could use him.
You don't want to risk any more injury.
I always
if
have
you're
my
not-
eye on him. at
Yeah,
games.
and if you don't want to, if you're not mentally right, like
And it sucks
Don't
too
go out
because
there.
you would have obviously loved to see him in the Tech game this weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, oof, in Blacksburg flying around. ODU's got so much pep going into that game because it's a
Right.
rivalry. So
right. I think that's we got to take technically one more break here.
I guess.
We'll take a quick one and we'll be right back after this. All right, we're back on Sports Wrap Overtime. Just about 3 minutes left. We'll kind of look ahead here. High school football, Friday Night Flights was fun. Debut of that.
Yeah,
Season
totally.
debut last week. We had 13 games on deck.
Yep.
And more games coming up this Friday. Maury plays Bishop McNamara out of Maryland.
Yep.
I think they're out
Yep.
of Maryland
Or
Jeff?
Northern Virginia, one of the
Something
two.
like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. What
It's hard with those Nova schools and the schools out there.
private and finally their home opener.
Phoebus starts its season this Friday.
Oh, do they finally?
Yeah, Phoebus starts its season on Friday.
they got?
So they got,
I think they have another non-district.
yeah.
Why did they wait 2 weeks? Did it
It's a
Peninsula thing, right?
Well, it was a scheduling issue. They
Yeah.
couldn't get a game filled in, and so they got to wait another week, pretty much.
I see.
But yeah, look for Friday Night Flights. We post the whole show on YouTube afterwards. We post it here on Wavy Plus. Really good shots out of Kings Fork and Nansman River.
How about those aerials?
The aerials.
Yeah, shout out Wyatt.
Yeah, shout out our operator Wyatt. The aerials were great. Beautiful night for football, man. Last Friday was perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Not
Yeah,
too
Some
hot.
great games. I'll tell you what, Kings Fork is going to be a team to watch.
Yeah,
That-
Kings Fork with the big win over Wise High School.
Southeastern. I mean, and now we are at the time of recording this because it's September 9th, but on September 20th, Indian River Oscar Smith at Smith.
Yeah.
Cannot wait. Saturday
That's
game.
big.
I think it's
Yeah.
at 1 o'clock.
Oh, they're doing it on Saturday already?
Yeah. Oof.
Saturday
Hopefully they're both
afternoon.
undefeated going in that one. That'd be good.
Well,
Hope so.
Indian River plays Great Bridge, and Smith already lost this season to
Oh, yeah,
Gonzaga.
yeah. That's right. In terms of NFL Week 2, coming up, Commanders, Packers, Thursday Night Football, other good games. You talked about the Ravens and the Browns.
And I'll be there.
Yeah, I don't know who the Bills got. But
Jets
the
got
Chiefs.
Jets Bills.
Oh, Jets Bills.
in
okay.
MetLife. So
Okay.
that's going to be, I think, we'll see kind of what the Jets are about a little more.
If you're like me and you're a fantasy football player, man, I got walloped this
yeah,
week by
same.
my old buddy Mike Gaither. Maybe I'll have to send him this clip of the podcast. He was a former local TV guy. He lives in Wilmington, North Carolina, and we play each other every year for the past 4 years in the opener because the way the schedule lines up. He crushed me, just absolutely crushed me. 190 to 150, beat me 40 points.
I'm in 3 leagues and lost horribly in all 3.
Oh my God. At least, okay, that's demoralizing.
Yeah.
I got one league. I lost one game. Losing 3 times sounds terrible. That's terrible.
Yeah.
That's
That's
I wouldn't
the
even want to
risk.
play anymore.
That's the risk of playing in 3 leagues.
Can't do
man.
3 leagues. I can barely keep my attention on.
I had to give it up.
You don't even play fantasy
So
anymore?
I was last season. I was
Yeah, I remember you
first
played
place,
last season.
lights out through 8 weeks. I was 8-0, and then everybody on my roster got hurt, and then I got bounced in the first round of the playoffs, and I was like, I'm done.
Yeah, it's
I'm
very
done. I
frustrating.
can't do it.
It's a
I
frustrating.
mean, there are years I do take a break because I'm
Yeah?
just I can't.
I've been
can't do
playing
it.
every year since 2020. 2020 was our first year. I never played prior to 2020 though, so I love it now. I love it, but I hate it too.
That's
Right?
yeah.
It's very
too much
frustrating.
stress.
It's a lot of
Especially when it's a paid league.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, $100 buy-in for us. So.
oh man.
Oh wow.
Yeah, $100
big
buy-in.
baller.
Yeah, something like that. All right. That's Sports Wrap Overtime for the week. We're gonna send you off, and for Jeff Snyder and James Catato, I'm Craig Loper. We will see you next time here on Sports Wrap OT.